There's a lot to review before the new season begins, and one of our favorite traditions is looking at some players who can make a serious impact in the upcoming season. What qualifies as intriguing? We'll explain. No superstars and no rookies, just young-ish players with the X factor. In today's video, we'll be reviewing 5 intriguing players for the upcoming NBA season, starting with number 5, TYRESE Haliburton, Indiana Pacers. Now, we know the Pacers fans don't have a lot to look forward to in the upcoming season, but it could be a good thing, considering franchises are looking to tank. However, one of the brightest spots for the Pacers will be Haliburton. He understands Indiana traded Sabonis to get him in, and they're hoping Tyrese can be a better option than Sabonis. The Pacers hope he can be an all-star, and we genuinely think he might just end up becoming one this season. Haliburton himself believes that while Sacramento was a great opportunity, he wasn't ready to become a full-time point guard back then. The 22-year-old believes that now is the time to take the next step because he's got sufficient experience and wants to be the full-time guy. Haliburton is an outlier in today's game. In an era where everyone wants to hold the ball, Tyrese is built as someone who is extremely unselfish, and that means he can empower teammates, catch defenses in mid-rotation, and can trigger quick passing sequences. But that doesn't mean he doesn't enjoy shooting. Tyrese is very productive as a knockdown shooter. 43.5% on catch-and-shoot threes is seriously good, and he's extremely good as a catch-and-go driver. And that's exactly what Haliburton would need to do for the Pacers. He'll need to hold on to the ball longer, take that extra dribble, and get to the rim and the line. Won't be easy, but that's why he's an intriguing option. After that, at number 4, Anthony Edwards, Minnesota Timberwolves. The way Anthony Edwards took his game to the next level in his first ever postseason was something that we genuinely didn't expect. Edwards took over the offense from Karl-Anthony Towns and averaged 25 points per game, including 40% shooting on nearly 10 threes per game. He was sensational, in particular against the Grizzlies. Edwards hypnotized the Memphis defense, and his hesitation moves were fantastic. Then he hunted down Ja before tracking him on defense as well, and Ja was enjoying a sensational season himself. Maybe the best thing about Edwards' fabulous performances was that he looked unfazed while doing it all. Now, with Rudy Gobert on his side, Edwards and the rest of the Minnesota side can truly flex their muscles. As any young scorer, Anthony struggles as a distributor, missing open passes and holding onto the ball, but if he can improve that, he might just take that next step that the Timberwolves want him to take. Thing is, even without that deficiency in his game, Edwards is still more than just a handful. Just imagine how complete he'd be when he adds that passing range into his game. He recognizes that much himself, and he'd love to jolt Minnesota's offense into gear next season. It's true, his focus can wane from time to time, and sometimes he struggles as a rebounder, but the foundations are excellent for him to become a consistent all-star player. Up next at number 3, DeAndre Hunter, Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks are extremely happy to have a talent like Hunter playing for them. Fresh off signing a 4-year extension worth $95 million, Hunter struggled with injuries, and that destroyed his brilliant start to the 2020-2021 campaign. As the number 4 pick, there were many expectations on his shoulders, but his start for the franchise wasn't too great. His role changed because of Trae Young's contributions, and the franchise recognized that it was hard for him to make a place for himself in the Hawks starting formation. So, over his career, he's bounced from role to role, from a spot-up guy to sprinkles of 1-and-1, and if we're being honest, he hasn't impressed in those situations. Over the offseason, though, Hunter trained with Brickley on his handle, and he's tried to get it tighter because he wants to emulate the best wing scorers who don't have a loose handle. That'll do nicely for him in the upcoming season, and it'll allow him to settle with the way the Hawks play. He's capable of having the ball and making the plays. This brings a certain X factor to Atlanta and gives them stylistic variety too. When Hunter moves to power forward, he can focus on his two-man game with Young and produce much better results for the Hawks. This adjustment is what makes him an intriguing option for the upcoming season, but he'll need to be much better at spotting up. If he improves his decision-making, that should clear up, and he'll be a proper threat going forward. Also, at number 2, Obi Toppin, New York Knicks. The Knicks simply look like a better side when Obi Toppin plays, and that's why he's going to be one of the focal points of the Knicks formation. Despite marginalizing Toppin's biggest skill of being a screen and dive guy, the Knicks are successful, and that tells you all you need to know about his insane talent. However, if they play him at the center or pair him with Julius Randle, they could get the best out of Toppin. Obi, though, struggles to get in the game at times, and it's a sad sight to see him saying no to open threes. This lack of confidence in his shot is something of a concern, and if he becomes a better shooter, which he actually did towards the final 10 games of the season, he'll be unstoppable. In fact, over the offseason, Toppin believes he's gotten more confidence in his shot. He believes that confidence was the only issue because he's always thought of himself as a good shooter, and Thibodeau agrees that he's gotten better. That's a great added skill for someone like Toppin because now the defenders would like to get closer to him, and that's perfect for him because he can play his explosive pump and drive game. Not to mention, he's a very good passer too. Despite some flexibility issues which stem from his strict upright stance, Toppin has a good eye for a pass, and it's good to see that he's working on crouching over the summer. Let's see how he puts all that learning to the test in the NBA. Before we get to number 1, a special mention for Cade Cunningham, Detroit Pistons. Since the All-Star break of last season, Cunningham was the best rookie in the NBA. In fact, he was among the top 20 players in that period, and his statistics tell you all you need to know. 21.1 points per game, 6.5 assists per game, and 5.8 rebounds per game. This is as good as Jimmy Butler, and he added more than a steal to his game. But the thing is, this second-half surge wasn't a surprise. We all knew that he's a talent ready to explode, and he's going to enjoy a very good season for the Pistons, provided he stays fit. It's great to see someone as young as Cunningham play the game at his own pace and not get rushed into anything. We love what we see from him, and the way he probes his way into the paint is a skill in its own right. He can get his teammates involved too, and we wouldn't be surprised if he makes the All-Star side in the near future. Finally, at number 1, Patrick Williams, Chicago Bulls. By far the most intriguing young player in the league is Patrick Williams. If we were being honest, he feels more like a blank slate than an intriguing player, and considering the fact that he's only played 88 games over 2 seasons is something that should excite the Chicago fans very much. He's looking much more healthy now, and he's only 21. Patrick was given the assignment of guarding Giannis, which is possibly the most difficult task in the entire league, and he didn't exactly disappoint. Williams holds the key to success for his young Bulls side. We know he's not the best defender on that roster, but defense is something that becomes better with age, and he's got all the tools to develop into an outstanding defender. Perhaps the biggest positive point that coaches have seen in Williams is his willingness to learn. Unlike most young talents, he's not concerned about his numbers. Instead, he nags his elders and the coaches into telling him what he needs to do to become better than he already is, and that's a fantastic trait to have. And then, when you look at his offense, that's where the X factor truly comes in. He's got this really good one-dribble pull-up, and while he can be a reluctant corner shooter, there's enough to work on and improve. Williams' best position is when he plays as a screen setter for Vukovic, who spots up, and that might be his best position for now. But don't be surprised if he turns into a bigger impact player over the course of this 2022-23 season. That's a wrap for this video. Which of these picks intrigues you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.